Welcome lads and ladies to more Heroes of the Storm content on the channel here. It's a bit late for me, I just finished casting the ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final. I'm a bit tired and probably also looked the part, but there was one game that I wanted to upload right away because it was just absolutely crazy. Team Liquid actually is not playing here, they're playing in another match, but it is Fnatic. It's Fnatic versus NaVi, so still two great teams that are having going up against each other on Cursed Hollow, and this game was crazy good. So get ready for something truly special. We're having the match coming up now on Cursed Hollow, and NaVi is going into a composition around Illidan. There's more like a jumper comp. They're trying to go in with the Nubarak here. They're really trying to be the team that jumps in, initiates, whereas we have Fnatic with Khaldor, with Zagara, and also with Sylvanas. So a lot of heroes that can do damage, that have pushing power, and are trying to really get those fights in with a Wailing Arrow, with maybe a Maw. So it's a really nice setup that we're having for Fnatic here too. Two great compositions for the teams, but this game was absolutely insane. So we're going to jump in right away. NaVi versus Fnatic here at the ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final.
Welcome everybody to the first game of the Heroes of the Storm tournament here at the ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final. The monthly final with the top 8 teams qualified throughout the month, and we have two great teams facing each other here, Fnatic and NaVi, in a best of 1 on Cursed Hollow. To the left side of the map, Shinobu on Zagara, Ace of Spades on Brightwing, Freds on ETC, Lowell on Sylvanas, and Kesel on Khaldor. To the right side of the map, as you can see, we're having NaVi with Breeze on Nubarak, Shwimpy is playing Mirrodin for his team, JPL is playing Illidan, and we're having Splendor on Rhaegar as Eternal move to take Jaina here. Pretty cool lineups for the teams. We had very interesting bans already. A ban on Tyrande because we have for NaVi always a roaming squad with Mirrodin and Tyrande on the map, and that's something that Fnatic wanted to avoid. Another ban was Tyrael. NaVi, knowing that one of the things that especially Fnatic loves to do these days is go for a Nubarak Tyrael, so they already made sure that that could happen. If you look at the talents here, taken on level 1, we have a bit of an oddity, nothing too fancy, but Ace of Spades going straight for Scouting Drone. You could take Bribe on this map, it's definitely a great talent to take. There are a few others that you can go for as well, but in this case it is actually the Scouting Drone, just give you a bit of an additional vision. And vision and map control in general is really key for Fnatic here. With the Zagara in the lineup, that's of course something that they aim for. They want to have the creep everywhere on the map to get a good idea of what's happening here, and one of the things that you should never underestimate is a good Maw into Phoenix, Flame Strike, and also Wailing Arrow. So there's a lot of combo potential and a very good synergy between the heroes for Fnatic. They might be a bit on the squishy side with 3 damage dealers with low HP, and then again 2 tanks on the side of NaVi are gonna make their life a living hell. But at the same time, though, they have the damage that they need to really burst the target down. That isn't something that might be missing for NaVi. I was actually surprised to see Jaina as the last pick, not because Jaina is not a good hero, of course she's great, but I thought they would try to go for a bit more solid and constant damage and use Vala instead, which is just in terms of like sustained DPS a bit better. Jaina more working with the bursts, and in this case this can of course really help you, but if you miss that Blizzard, then you have a pretty long cooldown until you can activate it again. So yeah, Shwimpy and Eternal are trying to run a bit of a roaming squad here. It's one of the things that NaVi usually does extremely well, and they're trying to prove that once again. We're seeing in terms of builds, Reverberation taken on level 1 of course for Shwimpy. Not too much right click just yet on the side of their opponents, but the Thunderclap build is the more popular one. You don't usually go for the Piercing Bolt build anymore. Well, not Piercing Bolt, but more like the Perfect Storm build. Piercing Bolt is still an option that you have on level 7, even if you go for Thunderclap, since it can help you in the fights. If you use Battle Momentum on the other hand, though, it really helps with the cooldown reduction. That includes your heroic abilities, so oftentimes you will see a few more avatars out there if a player decides to go into Battle Momentum. For now, we're having the level 4 talents hit for both of the teams, with again the Arcane Intellect on the side of Jaina taken, who went for the Deep Chill on level 1, in case you're wondering. Brightwing still going for the Protective Shield. It's kind of funny to see that, since NA is crying a lot about promote and that they really hate the talent that's being picked on most of the heroes that have promote, especially Brightwing is usually picking that talent up. The European scene, I've seen a lot of scrims where players were trying to go for promote, but then if you watch the actual tournament matches, most of the teams decide to go into the Protective Shield anyways and just completely disregard promote here. So in the European meta, promote doesn't really have the same place that it has in North America yet. We're seeing for Khaldor also gathering power taken on level 4. Oftentimes it's Netherwind that you will see chosen as the second talent for Khaldor, just because it helps you a bit with the survivability, and oftentimes you don't get too many stacks on him either. But let's see what KSL can do here, if he can stay in the back line and make sure that he doesn't get jumped by the opponent. The Tribute is there, and they're trying to fight for it already. The double front line is trying to get into position, so far not committing just yet, but here comes the first one and the second one against KSL. They're trying to put some damage on him. Still soaking up at the top lane, where we're having Illidan against Shinobu, and so far JPL cannot win this lane. He needs to wait a little bit longer. Illidan gets stronger over time, especially when he hits level 7. The first 8 is helping him with sustain. ETC as a solo tank you don't see too often, but there was very little choice for Fnatic here, and Fred so far has been doing a decent job. There's a lot of damage, of course, on the side of Fnatic, and they're using it. They're going in with Sylvanas, with Khaldor, starting to apply that damage. Nice stun, and Eternal gets gravity lapsed and taken out. Very well coordinated by Fnatic here. It was a great coordination that they had. They saw Jaina just a bit out of position, and they pounced on the opportunity, took first blood, and also got the tribute on the back of that kill. Very well coordinated here. Very, very well done. We're having in the mid lane still that fight now between Frets and Splendor. At the top lane, Zagara is of course so far doing a whole lot of work against that wall, and that is why Jaina is starting to rotate to the top. It's not really an easy lane for an Illidan. It's not really an easy lane for any hero out there if you have to go up against Zagara. And losing that wall is of course a bit of a problem. You're going to lose a lot of experience there. Eternal now moving in, and with both of them, they should get that kill. Brightwing was trying to move in, but the kill against Zagara just a bit too fast. But yeah, that's exactly what you need to go do against Zagara. So far we saw a great lane here for Zagara, taking that down. The kill itself doesn't even matter too much, since Frets is already there to soak the entire lane. Oftentimes in Heroes of the Storm, kills are not so much about the experience that the kill itself gives you, but it's more, first of all, the death timer on the hero, and this early in the game, the death time is of course fairly low, so you will have that 5th hero back in the game after just a few seconds. It's more about like how many experience points do you lose because there's no hero on the lane to soak the experience from the creeps that are dying. And in this case, ETC was there right away. Like, Fnatic saw, okay, one of our heroes is dying. That was already announced, of course, by Zagara. Shinobu said, like, boys, I'm going down here. And immediately ETC started to rotate up to the top, was soaking the wave at the tower, and then they were good, and they are still ahead in experience. They also get another kill against Jaina. That's one of the big problems that you have with Jaina, where Vala is just a bit better. It's not only that sustained DPS during a fight, but it's just like the extra escape that you have. And that's something that they've already been using. Lowell up here in the mid lane against Splendor, and with the zoning thanks to KSL, they are going to get the second tribute, and that puts a lot of pressure onto NaVi, and they are not going to like that. They are behind in experience, and normally when you give up 2 tributes at the start of the game, you really want to make sure that you get an experience lead because of that, so that you can fight for the 3rd tribute and get that with an easy level 10. But at this point, it's actually Fnatic that gets ahead, and they are going to have a great time at that 3rd tribute fight if they can get level 10, and the tribute is there before NaVi hits the heroic ability. There's the 10 already, going a full Beetle build now on Breeze with his Nubarak. The Love Beetle is there, getting that new skin. It's on sale actually right now. I was tempted, but yeah, it's a bit too much pink for my taste. So we're having the Piercing Bolt, by the way, taken on the side of Muradin too. So Muradin is going for that talent where he can hit 2 heroes with the Storm Bolt. We're seeing Frostbitten, and in this case, of course, Emerald Wind chosen here on the side of Brightwing. Well, I guess it makes sense if you consider how many melee characters you have on your opponent's team and how much they can jump you with a Nubarak, Burrow Strike, with Impale, with Muradin just leaping in, and also Illidan. So in this case, Emerald Wind is definitely a choice that you can justify. Most of the time you will see Blink heal, but right now for the disengage, that talent makes a lot of sense. Interesting is also Mosh Pit here taken. No global presence for ETC, but he doesn't need it. They have also Brightwing in their team, so I go for it. And that is actually pretty cool. Loudspeakers taken for the extra range on the face melt. And they're starting to move in. Breeze is trying to cap the tribute, but Zagara was already in position. Gets damaged though. Shrimpy was on their back. And now, once again, the team fight set up. Both of them are aiming for a spot. Of course, ETC would love to get that mosh pit through, but there's a lot of heroes that can actually stun them out. Well, thinking about it, there's only 2 of them. But these 2 he has to get, or they will be in trouble. They give up the tribute here. They don't like the position they are in. And that is oftentimes the right choice. This is actually one of the things that newer players oftentimes do not realize, that they can let a tribute go. You can't even get cursed if you are in a decent position for that. It's oftentimes the problem that people are not willing to let something go. They are trying to fight for it no matter what, and then they lose 2 or 3 players. They lose the objective regardless, and then they are in a very bad position here. Talking also a bit about the heroic abilities, of course, that we're seeing for NaVi. NaVi is running this with Web Blast on Breeze, and he's using it already, trying to lock them down. Kaysel going for the Phoenix, trying to get rid of the Web Blast. Ace is there, and he is trying to jump it. I'm actually not quite sure what he was doing there. That was a nice kill against Jaina. Oh, ETC is jumping in now as well. Ace is moving back here, trying to keep himself alive with a protective shield, but he is getting squashed by Breeze and Splendor. And Frats gets stunned here too. Nice action from NaVi, going in and really isolating these heroes. Especially that early Web Blast was pretty good, forcing them back. And it looked a bit like Ace made a bit of a misplay. I'm not quite sure what the intention behind it was. I guess the idea was to just phase shift towards the hero and then use Emerald Wind from there. For a second I thought that he didn't realize yet that he didn't have 13, since on 13 you will see phase shield fairly often. And then of course using phase shift to jump to a hero will give you additional hit points on him. So yeah, I'm not quite sure if he would have been maybe a bit better off to just try and move in and use a protective shield, but that attempt to use Emerald Wind from that position just didn't work out from a time-wise perspective, but I guess that was the idea behind it. So a nice attempt by Ace, but he doesn't really properly get it through, so it's currently 3 kills against 3. NaVi isolating the heroes, getting their kills in, doing a decent job with that. And now we're having both teams with 2 tribute, meaning that the next one is going to take one of the teams. Well, not really out, but they're going to be cursed. There's the face shield, by the way, that I've been talking about in the last game. We have Mutalisks also being used. Face Melt, which of course is working very well with loudspeakers. Oh, and Illidan in the top lane, apparently jumped by Shinobu and Ace. But talking about heroes being jumped, Schwimpy suddenly is going for Shinobu here, and he gets some help as Splendor and Eternal are moving in. Good kills for both of the teams. It's really neck to neck right now. These guys are going to give it their all to advance to the semi-final here. It is a best of 1, so this map really counts. We're seeing Rhaegar going for a healing surge over a potential Feral Lunge, so we're not going to see any jumping dogs just yet. But it is of course nice to have that extra out there. Symbiotic armor is being used. It gives the Beetles a bit more sustainability. It looks like Fnatic is accepting the curse. Wow, but Freds moves in all alone, tries to get away. In comes Brightwing with that shield that we've been talking about. Web Blast already being used to isolate Brightwing. NaVi is there. They are going for it. Here comes the Phoenix. Brightwing is trying to get away. Oh, the mosh pit of death. The mosh pit right straight from hell, and they kill 2 heroes. In comes the Wailing Arrow. Lowell is trying to chase them down. Schwimpy on the move back, and all of a sudden NaVi is just running away, trying to escape certain death. Once again, Frats is leading at the front. Wow, what a play. Frats maybe a bit too risky trying to isolate that tribute and interrupt the channel. He nearly died there, but Ace saved him, gets web blasted, and in come the other heroes, especially Khaldor with the Phoenix, and of course ETC going back in, getting the good lockdown against both of the stun heroes, against both of the tanks, which was the important part. Really well played here then by Freds. At the beginning, as I said, maybe a bit too over-eager, going that deep into 3 or 4 heroes, but then that last edge move, that was really something. 2 levels ahead for them right now. Very well done here, and we are seeing them with the Brood expansion, Critterize, Echo Paddle on ETC, and of course now it is time for Ignite. After Flamethrower, Fusion Bomb on 7, now on 16, it is Ignite, and that is really where he gets his power spike. Khaldor is dishing out a ton of damage at that level, and it is going to show. We do not see a single ice block in this game, by the way, just mentioning it, since Jaina went for her sprint instead of that. Also, face shield on the side of Brightwing, so no ice block there either. Looking a bit at the damage numbers, so far Khaldor's actually behind Zagara and Sylvanas, but that is going to change soon when he starts to get his flame strikes in with the additional Ignite talent here. So that's going to be really, really tricky. One of the things that I also want to highlight is that we didn't see a single boss attempt yet. We might see that soon, especially by Fnatic. It looks like we are seeing NaVi going for the one at the top lane, so it's going to be an exchange, boss for boss. But yeah, these are the first bosses that are taken, 13 minutes in basically. Down to the bot lane. At this point, Fnatic is a bit in the lead, 6 kills against 4. They already destroyed the bot lane fort. That means the boss is going to aim straight for the keep here, whereas the boss that we are going to see for Na'Vi will have to go through the entire wall first, so it's going to be a bit easier to defend against it, and there's also a much lesser threat. But Kaysel, Shinobu and the rest of the players, they can start to rotate again. Keep also in mind that we still have 2 tributes for Na'Vi, so if we are able to get the next tribute, they will curse Fnatic, and they're still fighting on the same talent now, and we're already seeing a triple blood for blood on the side of them. The red team is going also on Jaina now into the numbing blast, and Muradin should take stone form, I suppose. We don't have too many right click heroes that I would say imposing presence would be an option in this game for Muradin, and there is stone form. Makes a lot of sense. I really want to see that coming to play now, because this is just great talent, and it makes Muradin so tanky. The boss down here takes part of the wall up at the top, the wall completely taken out, but of course it's only a fort that we're talking about here, and well, this one this one didn't make it either. There was just like one pillar that he had to remove and everything was crumbling, and that's exactly what they did there. 18 versus 16 now the levels, and 20 is going to be the next major power spike for one of the teams, and so far it looks like Fnatic is going to be the one, at least if they're not engaging into a battle they are going to lose here. So for them it would make a lot of sense to just play a bit passive, destroying walls on the map, smart, making sure that you deny vision to your opponent, but this is a fight that you have to take if you're Fnatic. You're not going to be happy taking well, I guess in theory you could say, okay, we accept the curse and then we just try to defend, but the problem is you're going to lose structures. And that gives your opponent experience, and therefore they will be able to bridge the gap in EXP. So you want to fight right now if you can, or at least stall this out for as long as you can. Especially with Kaysel using his Flame Strike. You can use Flame Strike and also Zagara with her roaches to just always make sure that your opponent doesn't get the tribute. They will go down in experience. You just poke with it. You poke, you poke, you poke, you poke, and you make sure that nobody is able to get a tribute. Just look how low Breeze already is. He cannot keep this up. He cannot just simply sit there and try to channel the tribute and then eat a Flame Strike every time. That just doesn't work. Frats is zoning up at the front. Nobody really wants to run the risk that ETC is going to get another mosh pit off. And time is working in favor of Fnatic so far. Well, at the bot lane, oh, there comes the jump. Shrimpy is moving in. Phoenix immediately being used. Great position for the Phoenix. Frats moving away. Does not even try to go for the mosh pit just yet, but we have a good web blast, but immediately attacked by Fnatic. Nice Emerald Grid as well, pushing the back. Illidan already down, got isolated. Brightwing is paying the price, but he's happy to do so, and they get a kill with the mosh pit now as well. Muradin and Rhaegar both down. Jaina is not making it either, and up to the top, Breeze is trying to rock the carpet here, flying away on it. I'm just seeing that couple on the Beetle for the first time right now. That looks a bit silly. A stun against ETC here. Eternal, well, he got the quick disconnect, moves back, and apparently doesn't even want to channel that. He's like, why would you do that? Just go in and take that keep. The call has been made. Are they going to try and finish the game? They have 4 heroes and they're moving in. 1 stun thanks to the Impale. Phoenix is up already and they're starting to apply the damage here. Fnatic wants to finish this game. They're moving in. Here comes the Gravity Lapse against Breeze. He just doesn't have the damage that he needs to make this happen. Level 20 of course helping Fnatic too. The kill against Khaldor. Illidan is going to be back. I think they can defend here if they're lucky. Shinobu is down. Web Blast used. Lowell 9%, 8% on the core. 8% on the core, and the stun against ETC and the kill. Oh my god, NaVi! Oh, the call was made and it was just a tiny bit off. That was so close. If not for the web blast coming back, then they would have lost the game for sure. If ETC would have moved a bit faster, they might have been able to finish this. What a game. They're cursed. Shrimpy gets the tribute. Now they are cursed. And what is NaVi doing? NaVi wants a keep. They want a keep. Ace is the only one alive. There's another 20 seconds. Oh my god, this game! Double, triple, look at that, triple bolt of the storm. They're moving in, they're going for keep. They cannot finish the game. No way. That's no way. No, no. Khaldor is back. Can they? Khaldor with a Phoenix and the Flame Strikes. Here comes Zagara. Where's that more? Where's that more? She has the more, she uses 60% the counter aggression. What a game! No way! 30% on the core ancestor healing being used. 1970, 10-7. This is it. This is game. NaVi takes it. NaVi has the damage and they apply it. Game over. Good job by NaVi, and GG. They move to the semifinals.
An absolutely insane ending there. Really well done by NaVi, but Fnatic, I mean, that call to go for the core, and it looked for a long time that they would be able to make that happen. And if you think about it, one of the things that really won the game for Fnatic there, or sorry, for NaVi of course, was that Anubarak stunned out ETC once with a tribute, because ETC then just suddenly was called to the attack, and well, Fnatic just said like, buddy, leave that tribute there, we can't deal with that right now, we need you here for the damage. So they didn't channel the tribute, and then on the way back suddenly NaVi could take the tribute after they defended their core. And that defense alone was already crazy. The Web Blast really saving the day there. And just 8%, that was just brutal for Fnatic, of course. And on the way back, tribute is getting taken by NaVi. They move in and they say like, all right, we got this. We can burst down through the bot lane and then go straight for the core, and that's what they did. And for the longest time, I really thought they wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, Khaldor was coming back with Phoenix, with his Flame Strike, the rest of the heroes about to merge as well. But just in those last seconds, we finally see the NaVi going for the core and breaking it. And it was a second before ETC was attempting to go for another mosh pit there as well, to maybe buy a bit more time so that they can kill NaVi and turn it around again. An insane finish in a crazy game, and therefore NaVi moved on to the semi-final. I'm going to of course upload the rest of the matches throughout the next few days too, but still, this one I wanted to upload that right away, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the game in the commentary, then make sure that you give the video a thumbs up on YouTube, drop a comment in the comment section, and I would always appreciate it, of course, if you would share it with your friends as well if you really like the game. Show them how awesome Heroes of the Storm can be. And well guys, that's it for the day, so I hope that you had a great time watching the match here. I certainly enjoyed casting it for you, and I'm going to see you next time with more Heroes of the Storm content. Have a good one. Bye-bye.